I've had the On Tablet Pro for a couple of weeks now, and I've had the chance to tinker around with it and see if it suits my needs. I was really hoping that this was going to be a really awesome tablet considering its price point and specs. It's got 3 gigs of RAM, it's got a quad-core processor, which are specs very similar to the Tab A7 by Samsung, and so I was like, hey, if I can save $100, you know, I'd much rather do that and go with the Walmart tablet instead of, spending the extra $100 and getting essentially the same tablet by Samsung. And so I bought both of them to see which one I like better, and then the plan is to return the one that I don't like as much. And I think I'm gonna have to return the Tablet Pro by On. This one comes in at $130. The Tab A7 by Samsung comes in at $230. And as much as I would love to save that extra $100, this just isn't cutting it for me. The biggest thing is the latency. So let me show you the screen here. So I'm about to turn this thing on and check out how slow this is to wake up. Tap. Isn't that bizarre? That's a terrible, terrible experience. I'm gonna do it again here. Tap. Oh, that's so bad. And then even once you get into it, here, let me pull up an app here. Even once you get into it, I'm gonna open Disney Plus here really quick. It just takes a while to load, and it's like, it's not very snappy. Now, once the app is actually open, things are actually okay. So right now you have my Kindle open, and swiping back and forth. It's a little laggy, but it's not too bad. And so, I'm willing to overlook that. But just the waking up, tapping on an app, those things take forever, and it's just a very laggy experience. And I feel like I'm using a tablet from like 10 years ago. And so I'm not a huge fan of that. The screen looks fine. The refresh rate is, I think, 60 Hertz. It's what you would expect on a $130 tablet. Probably even better than what you'd expect on a $130 tablet. I didn't notice much difference between 720p and 1080p on streaming content like on YouTube, and so I'm not confident that the screen is even a full 1080p, but it looks okay for the tablet size. I mean, for only being 10 inches, 720p isn't awful. 1080p would be much better, but it wasn't too long ago that we were all using 1080p, like 65-inch screen TVs, and the pixel density on a 65-inch screen as opposed to, a 10.1-inch screen is far and away much better on the 10.1 inch. So, I'm not upset about the screen. I think the camera quality could be better. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play you a clip from the front-facing camera. So this should be the one you'd use for video calls and selfies and things like that. Although you shouldn't be taking a selfie on a tablet. It's just not a great camera experience. But this is what the front-facing camera looks like. So this is the camera in a normally lit room. Nothing special about it. This is also what the audio sounds like when I'm holding the tablet in the bottom right-hand corner. That's my son screaming in the background. Now I'm holding the tablet in the bottom left-hand corner. This is what it looks like in a normally lit room. However, when I turn on the light and give it some time to adjust, you can tell that the camera quality significantly improves. And so it's really good at handling ISO and like shutter speed and things like that, but that is pretty much it. And then this is what the rear-facing camera looks like. And this is what the video looks like in a well-lit room. I'm gonna turn off this light here. And this is what the rear view looks like in a normally lit room. So there you have it. There's the microphone and video quality of this tablet. And that also gives you a pretty good idea as to what the microphone sounds like as well. Not great, but also not too bad. It's nothing fantastic, but it's also not much worse than what you'd expect in like a flagship phone. I know that's kind of like, that's kind of ambitious to say, that the microphone quality on a $130 tablet isn't far behind, a smartphone that, is flagship quality, but I really don't think it's that big of a difference for the microphone. The video quality is obviously not nearly as great as it should be, or as much as I would like it to be. I think it's over sharpened way too much, and so things kind of look grainy. I'm not a huge fan of that. But it's not bad overall. The video calls were just fine, so I messaged my wife. I did a video chat with my wife with the On tablet, and the video calls worked fine. They didn't look the greatest, but there was no lag. It wasn't a bad experience. So if you're just getting this to do video calls and you're okay with the latency, this is gonna be an okay tablet. Once you got apps up and going, they were pretty smooth, just like I mentioned with Kindle. Same with like kids games, same with streaming. You know, once you got everything going, it was okay. But the lag, I think, was just a little bit too much for me to be able to recommend this, when for $100 more, you can get a way better experience with the Tab A7. And that makes me think of the speakers too. This has 2 speakers, so it's a stereo system, even though it's only on like the top side of the tablet instead of being on either side of the tablet. It is still a stereo system. And the speakers just aren't great. Like, they remind me of like an iPhone 5, right? They're not super loud. They're not super clear. It kind of has really high mid EQs, low or low EQs, and then low high EQs as well. The mid EQs are really where things are coming through on the Tab, or the Tablet Pro by Walmart. So anyway, this was just gonna be a quick review. Overall, I don't think this was a good experience. It's okay. I mean, it'll work. And if you're just looking for a cheap tablet to give your toddler, I mean, I think there are better toddler tablets or better kid tablets, but this one will be okay. And if you don't mind the lag between waking up, between you know, switching apps and things like that, this one will suit your needs just fine. But overall, I would not recommend this tablet. I would recommend spending a little bit more, maybe even getting like a used iPad Air or a used just a normal iPad. I think those would be a better experience than this. And then also, yeah, I just don't think it's gonna be one that I can recommend. For $100 more, you can get a way better tablet that's a way smoother experience, and it's, you know, a name brand. And I just think to myself, I don't know why you would spend $130 on this. I know why I did. I wanted to test them out. Now I'm gonna return this one, just because it's not what it says it was, you know, like 3 gigs of RAM doesn't really do anything. I do think that the problem is probably with the hard drive, that it's running on a slow SSD or a slow flash memory or something like that. It's only 32 gigs of memory, so it's not like it's got an insane storage. It's not like it's using, you know, really high-end SSD technology in here. So that's probably why it takes a little bit to wake up. It's probably why it takes a little bit to open an app, and then why it runs okay once the app is open. But that storage, man, that whatever is inside here that's storing all of the apps, really is what's holding it back. So that's my review. Let me know if you have any questions below, and thanks for watching.